Rachel Maddow is the ringleader of the conspiracy network. Well, she created it, so in her network, she's on top. But there are many little people beneath her that she's had on her show that MSNBC has hosted that have gained hundreds of thousands of followers chasing after what we are now calling the Collusion Delusion. For years, they were so damn sure, and it's really creepy if you ask me. Now, I want to say, I'm glad to see that some of these people are trying to segue away from Russiagate into mainstream politics. I'm not going to call anybody out because that's not something I typically do. But what do you think happened when some of these people tried tweeting about, Democrats in 2020? How many retweets would they get on their Russiagate conspiracy nonsense? Some of these people would get hundreds to thousands. One of these people who has hundreds of thousands of followers, I saw tweet about 2020, and they got something like 10 retweets. And I was shocked. I genuinely was just like, whoa. I wonder if the followers are fake. Think about this. It's really, really easy to destroy someone or make them go crazy using bots. Here's what you do. Whenever someone tweets about something that's fringy, you have a bunch of bots like and retweet. They then feel like, wow, that did really well. And so they try to do it more, whether they notice it or not. Do this enough, and over a couple of years, you will have someone wearing tinfoil on their head, thinking that they're talking to real people. Hey, I'm getting followers. This must be working. And this is actually somewhat of a strategy used by many social media companies. One of the ideas is that give someone fake followers, and they'll feel special. They'll start engaging more, thinking that they've got a real engagement. It's working. They feel socially validated. You then have your bots like certain things and dislike certain things, and over time, you are nudging them into insanity. What ends up happening is, whether or not it's a bot, like just that as an aside, these people who have spent years chasing the Collusion Delusion, now when they tweet, their followers don't care about reality. They care about Russia. That's what they're sitting in their rooms, rocking back and forth, going, Putin, ah. And once you stop tweeting about it, they say you're wrong. Why aren't you talking about this? They claim to know the truth. Well, Rachel Maddow, as I pointed out, is probably one of the most prominent tinfoil conspiracy wackaloons. It's really sad to see. There was a period where Rachel Maddow was respected for her opinions. But because she got the ratings, they kept encouraging and pushing and pushing. And where is she now? Russia. What ends up happening? Russiagate collapses. And now where is she? She can't let go. Some people have absolutely refused to stop. Now, Rachel Maddow is still trying to keep some semblance of sanity. Let me increase the size of this here. Rachel Maddow is saying like, okay, what's in the Mueller report now? Let's see what else there is. Maybe there's obstruction of justice. And at this point, recommending no indictments, it's really unlikely. It's possible. Don't get me wrong. I never want to be one of those people who's so absolute thinking I know everything, because I certainly don't. But look at this. Jonathan Chait. I wrote an article suggesting Trump was compromised by Russia. I was right. What? Wow. I don't even know what to say to this kind of absolute psychosis. What do you call it? This is from today at around 9 a.m. Jonathan Chait said, no, I'm right. What does he start with? Robert Mueller's failure to establish a criminal conspiracy between Donald Trump and the Russian government has set off a wave of revisionist attacks from both the right and the far left. Oh, heavens. Let me tell you what happened. Russiagate ended. There were many people on the left who were like, hey, man, I think Trump did this. Let's see what happens. And then there were actually a few voices like Michael Tracy and Glenn Greenwald and Aaron Mattei who were like, no, this is nuts. Conservatives, of course, were like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. But there were left-wing voices that were like, wow, maybe he really did this. Let's see what happens. And then what happened? Nothing. So here's what happens today. Rachel Maddow can't stop. As I explained earlier, she's got to chase those that Trump bump. Her audience isn't going to like it. She's got to slowly try and come down. But Slate.com, which is considered more like identitarian left or far left, whatever you want to call it, has said Rachel Maddow's got a conspiracy brain. The Washington Post said Rachel Maddow won't let it go. Then you have obviously voices on the right saying it, even Politico, which is more of like a center, political news outlet. They're all saying, dude, Rachel, so you've got left, right, center, top down, up, down, whatever. Everyone's saying, guys, stop. What is wrong with you? And here we go. New York Mag is rated by several different outlets as being left to far left. And they are damn sure they were right. They weren't wrong. Mueller was wrong. Mueller just couldn't do it. Look at this. It's revisionist attacks from the right and the far left. Oh, so basically everyone is telling you you've lost the plot and you won't let go. Even though the full details of Mueller's report remain secret, Trump defenders insist that it has negated not only the wild hopes that Trump might be removed from his job through prosecutorial means, but over the 2 years worth of reporting on over 2 years worth of reporting on his suspect relations with Moscow. I am not a reporter, and I have not broken any of the stories Trump's defenders are now trying to discredit. Trump's defenders? You're calling Glenn Greenwald a Trump defender. This is how insane they've gotten. Think about this. Michael Tracy, progressive. Glenn Greenwald, progressive. Aaron Matei, writer, contributor to The Nation, a left-wing progressive publication. And they're calling these people Trump defenders? Wow. But what can they do? Really? I kind of feel bad for them. Now, I will ask, why in the living is New York Mag allowing this to continue? Why are they supporting this? At what point is MSNBC going to be like, dude, Rachel, like, the ratings are down 20%. Can we talk about something else? I guess they can't. They've gone too far. Some of these people don't have anything else. Some of these people I've seen are young upstarts with no other career. They made their name in the past 2 years off the Russia conspiracy. And one of the things they say, like he says, but what about the 2 years with reporting on Trump's suspect relations with Moscow? Oh, yeah, let me tell you a story. Did you know there's a bunch of really weird coincidences around 9/11? And there's a reason why I don't report on these things. Why? The idea that 9/11 was an inside job carried out by the Bush administration for a false flag is absurd. And I know there's a lot of people who really endorse that conspiracy, but listen, to the conspiracy people, the amount of leaps you have to make to get from something happened on 9/11 to thinking the government did it is a huge leap. There's so many things more simple and more likely, like, there was a security breach, a legitimate one, and the government didn't tell us exactly what happened because it would compromise our security. That to me is like, well, what are you going to do? People say, oh, but what happened on 9/11? They're not telling us the truth. Well, of course they're not. They're not going to compromise. They're not going to publish to the world how our security was compromised and how one of the most important buildings in American security was attacked. So yeah, the story is probably not accurate, but that's just simple, reasonable logic. We don't know what happened. We have a general report, but I assure you this classified information you'll probably never hear because our security was compromised. So let's talk about this. They want so desperately for it to be true that Trump and Putin are, that Trump works for Putin. I think this is the guy, I could be wrong. I think this is the guy who claimed that Trump may be compromised as of 1987. This ridiculous thing they ran on MSNBC. They want it to be true so bad that what they're essentially doing is they're starting from the point in which they say Trump works with Putin and then working backwards to try and figure out how to connect those dots. Is it weird that a Russian business person flew into North Carolina around the same time as a Trump rally? Not really. But when you're working from this mindset that you know for sure, this guy's straight up, look at this, just please read this headline. I wrote an article suggesting Trump was compromised by Russia. I was right. When you have someone who is this positive, that they know they're sure and there's no evidence, and even Mueller's investigation with all of its resources said, nah, we can't find it. What do? They start looking for the coincidences that can slowly make some sense of how their worldview can exist. They're starting with their conclusion and working backwards. Well, Mueller, in all likelihood, started with the hypothesis and worked forward and then said, yep, nothing here, moving on. So that's what happens, right? You start from where you are and say, okay, let's look at what we got. We got Trump, this, that, and this, and this. Are there some weird circumstances? Right. Let's investigate these. And they didn't go anywhere, so we're done. But what does Rachel Maddow do? Can Russia shut off our electricity? Let me show you some of this video right here. This is a video that's going viral from Greg Gutfield, and I'm just going to play a few seconds of it.
Atomic number 24, the brother of the guy who's got the chromium plant, the guy who's the brother of the chromium plant in Kazakhstan. Chromium plant in Kazakhstan. Next time you see something chrome plated, take a deep breath. cough it out, and think of the Trump Soho. Big story. Tick, 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 tick. Boom. Started ticking again. Tick, 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 tick. 4 hours later, boom, boom. You're stressing me out. He starts tick, tick, ticking again. The boom goes off twice. First boom, tick, tick.
Do you hear how insane this is? How insane these people really are for years doing this. Rachel Maddow on our show going tick, 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 boom. Oh, here it comes. Ah, and then when nothing happens, what do? They literally, okay, I'm going to end by saying this. Clearly, I think in the instance of Rachel Maddow, I don't think she believes it. I really don't. I think she's like, man, the ratings are so great. I'm going to keep doing this. And she just looks so fake. When the Mueller report came out, as with no collusion, she was choking back tears. Now, a lot of people thought she was crying. She wasn't crying. She didn't have tears pouring out her face. But you could see the watering in her eyes. You really could. You can see the distress expression on her face. You couldn't tell she was fighting back tears. Everything she had hoped for, gone. Her ratings collapsed. She was almost in the #1 spot, bouncing back and forth. Number 6, cable TV ratings. Your narrative, your conspiracy crime web, it all collapsed around you. These people are out of their gourd. Is it possible that something happened? Sure. Is it possible they're conspiracy? There's conspiracies all the time. But come on, man. We need evidence. And we need to start from the evidence and work out, not start from a conclusion and then try and find evidence. Otherwise, you end up like these wackaloons writing a headline claiming, no, I was right. Mueller just couldn't find it. Welcome to this journalism's dead. Dead. I got another video coming up for you at 4 p.m. Eastern on my main channel, youtube.com/Timcast. Yes, it's a different channel. I will see you then.